Federal Bureau of Investigation or of Opposition Research. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Over the past 2 days, another scandal has struck the FBI. A scandal that relates directly to the Trump raid. We now learn that the FBI offered $1 million to the very author of the Trump-Russia dossier for further clarification. This is wrong on many levels, not least because the FBI is now on record as taking a political side in an election campaign. I'm going to talk about exactly what came out in court, and I'm going to discuss the relevant indictment and what this all means about just what the FBI has become. Before I do, I want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views, link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, including this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which reads, "I need new conspiracies, as all the old ones have come true." While I'm on the subject, if you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can even click on the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, a heart shape with a US dollar sign inside of it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click on that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do. Now then, reportage on this incident comes from Fox News, Just the News, and the newsletter Red Right Patriot. Now, you know that sometimes I cite legacy media sources. I didn't do that this time because I don't ever expect truthful reportage on this story from any legacy media source, unless you count Fox News as one. Remember, the New York Times reported on Donald J. Trump being a Russian agent as if it were true. And they have never retracted that or admitted their error. This case goes directly to that allegation, by which some of the legacy media still stand. The latest revelations came in the trial of the case of United States versus Igor Danchenko. In the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia, Judge Anthony M. Trenga presiding. Official transcripts will not be available perhaps for 90 days post-session. But a Fox News reporter did attend. The trial opened on Tuesday, October 11th, with opening statements and the testimony of one Brian Alton, an FBI supervisory counterintelligence analyst. Igor Danchenko is under indictment and standing trial on 5 charges of lying to the FBI. The lies were about whether Donald Trump was regularly acting in Russia's interests during his 2016 campaign. And who said that? And how did Danchenko know? Fox reported 2 key revelations from Alton's testimony. First, he and several other FBI agents went overseas in October 2021 to talk to Christopher Steele, the ex-MI6 agent. Yes, cue the James Bond theme by Monty Norman and by John Barry, just in case. Yes, that Christopher Steele, who composed the dossier that bears his name. Evidently, Steele never told them that Danchenko was one of his sources. In that so alleged ignorance, the FBI offered Steele $1 million if he could corroborate further the allegations in the dossier that he himself wrote. Steele, maybe because he was getting cold feet, turned the FBI down. And almost as bad as that, Mr. Alton had to admit the FBI had no corroboration of the Steele dossier on October 21st, 2016. It was on that date that the FBI applied for a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, warrant against Trump campaign aide Carter Page. Special Prosecutor John Durham questioned Alton on that point. Question: on October 21st, 2016, did you have any information to corroborate that information? Answer: no. No? What do you mean, no? Here you are going to a federal judge to get a warrant to spy on somebody you think might be a foreign agent, and when somebody asks you whether you could corroborate the information you're going to use to get that warrant, you tell him, no, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. And in that same session, Alton admitted that the FBI first received Steele material beginning September 19th, 2016. And on that same day, Michael Sussman, who was working for the Clinton campaign at the time, brought his own evidence of back-channel communication between the Trump organization and Russia's Alpha Bank, or at least what he said was evidence. Sussman said then that he was not working for any client when he came to the FBI. Well, Brooklyn Bridge time. Nor did the revelations stop there. Alton said the FBI tried to get corroboration from other alphabet suit agencies. Results? Negative. And still, the FBI ran with this to get a FISA warrant against an opposition campaign aide. Opposition because a Democratic administration, i.e. the Obama administration, was then in charge. So what does all this mean? First, Christopher Steele had a chance to double dip. He wrote the dossier that bears his name from information Danchenko gave him. Now you're telling me that the FBI did not know in October of 2021 that Steele had used Danchenko as a source? Folks, I find that impossible to believe. And in any case, if anyone could have fabricated corroborating evidence for that dossier, who better than its original author? So why didn't Steele take the chance to double dip? Did he exhaust his imagination when he composed the dossier to begin with? Or did Danchenko exhaust his imagination and Steele knew that he could never match that level of imagination? Now, why do I use the word imagination? Because the indictment against Danchenko specifically accuses him of making up facts and events out of the whole cloth. Don't just take my word for it. Read the indictment for yourselves. I've left a link in the description. And you know what? I'm going to start quoting from it. But before I do, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. You feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You're not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Now, whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities that company provides, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. All right. Let's start with paragraph 12 of the indictment. Quote, Danchenko stated falsely during the interviews that in or about late July 2016, he received an anonymous phone call from an individual who Danchenko believed to be a particular U.S. citizen and who was then president of the Russian-American Chamber of Commerce, and called this person Chamber President 1. Danchenko also falsely stated that during this phone call, 1, the person he believed to be Chamber President 1 informed him in part about information that the company reports later described as demonstrating a well-developed conspiracy of cooperation between the Trump campaign and Russian officials, and 2, Danchenko and the aforementioned person agreed to meet in New York. In truth and fact, and as Danchenko well knew, Danchenko never received such a phone call or such information from any person he believed to be Chamber President 1, and Danchenko never made any arrangement to meet Chamber President 1 in New York. Rather, Danchenko fabricated these facts regarding Chamber President 1. Close quote. For company reports, read the Steele dossier, and for Chamber President 1, read Sergei Milyan, president of the Russian-American Chamber of Commerce at the time. Moving along, paragraph 13, quote, as alleged in further detail below, all of Danchenko's lies were material to the FBI because, among other reasons, 1. The FBI's investigation of the Trump campaign relied in large part on the company reports to obtain FISA warrants on Advisor 1. 2. The FBI ultimately devoted substantial resources attempting to investigate and corroborate the allegations contained in the company reports, including the reliability of Danchenko's sub-sources. And 3. The company reports, as well as information collected for the reports by Danchenko, played a role in the FBI's investigative decisions and in sworn representations that the FBI made to the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court throughout the relevant time period. Close quote. And for Advisor 1, that's Carter Page. The defense insisted that Milyan did call Danchenko on an untraceable phone app. Well, this could be any of several apps like that that are out there, and I've seen them. One of them is Signal. Well, that's the one I use, by the way. Now, which one Milyan was supposed to have used, the defense didn't say, and I will not speculate. The indictment also alleges that Danchenko lied about having never communicated with Charles Dolan, former vice president of Ketchum Public Relations Worldwide and a known Clinton insider. Mr. Aaron Maté made the identification on November 4th, 2021, the very day after the indictment came out. I have a link in the description. Today, the defense stipulated that too, disputed that too, as well they might. All 5 counts of the indictment relate to Danchenko's claims that 1, he never spoke to Mr. Dolan, count 1 says he did, and 2, Mr. Milyan called him repeatedly, counts 2 through 5 say that Mr. Milyan never once did. Now, let me disclaim something. The indictment does mention Mr. Dolan and Ketchum PR, at least I think they do, but they don't mention them by name. This indictment never mentions names, other than that of Danchenko. But we do know that Dolan left Ketchum in 2005. The indictment does not allege any connection between Ketchum and the Steele dossier. And again, according to Aaron Maté, Dolan subsequently worked for another PR firm called K Global. But on the same day Mr. Maté tried to link to his bio at K Global, boom, it was gone. And even the Wayback Machine doesn't have a copy. And if any of you administrators of the Wayback Machine can hear me, I want to know why. And anyway, I have a link in the description to Mr. Maté's tweet setting the record straight about where Charles Dolan worked and giving the broken link to a supposed biography of him at K Global. Beyond that, why did the FBI offer $1 million to Christopher Steele? How could they possibly have missed that they were going to the very person to whom Danchenko gave his information? Is the FBI really as incompetent as that? Well, if so, that's another reason to disband the FBI and turn its investigative missions over to the Pinkerton Detective Agency, or, where appropriate, to other government agencies. But it's not true. Or hasn't been historically. You want to know what I think is really going on? I say that the FBI was trying in any way that it could to knock Donald Trump out of the running. They failed in 2016, and then they tried all during his administration to concoct evidence of treason on his part. And now they're trying to cover up. That's what the Trump raid was all about. But they are also trying to stop him from running for president again. They know that if he returns to office, they're out of jobs, and some of them might be heading to prison. Link in the description to the article, to the Danchenko indictment, to the 2 Aaron Maté tweets, and to conservative news and views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and to earlier videos I've done about the monkey shines at the FBI. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.